Hi students, in this video I'll be going through the JYSS 4E Mid-Year Exam 2012 for Additional Mathematics, Paper 2, Question 6B. Alright, so let's read the question together. Okay, so the diagram below shows the cross-sectional view of an inverted cone of radius 3 cm and height 9 cm. If the cone is partially filled with water up to a height of h cm, find an equation connecting V and H only. Okay, so the key here is V and H only, where V is the volume of water in the cone at that instant. Right, so basically they want us to write down an equation for the volume of the water over here. Okay, so in this case, we will need to know the volume of the cone. So you will definitely need to know the formula for volume of cone and things like volume of a cylinder, alright, and volume of sphere, etc. Okay, including the surface area also. Okay, so since this is a cone, the volume will be 1/3 base area times height, right? Okay, so V will be 1/3 base area. So in this case, the base is a circle because it's a cone. So over here, the radius is R, so it will be 1/3 pi R squared and H. Okay, but the question wants us to find an equation connecting V and H only. So in other words, we will need to do something to substitute away this R, right? Okay, so this is where you need to remember this technique. Okay, so for questions like this, we can always use similar triangles, the concept of similar triangles whereby the ratio of corresponding sides are equal, right? Okay, to help us to find a relationship between R and H, and then after that we can substitute away the R. Okay, so over here you can see that this triangle, this small triangle over here, right, let me draw again. Okay, so this small triangle over here, right? Okay, this small triangle over here is similar to the bigger triangle over here. Okay, so R will correspond to this side, all right? The ratio of corresponding sides are equal. So the side R is corresponding to this side, which is actually also 3 cm lah. Okay, so what we can get is R over 3 will be equals to, okay, now the height here is H, right? Okay, the height of the water, okay, inside the cone, okay, is H. So will be equals to H over 9, okay, the full height of the cone. Okay, so R over 3 equals to H over 9. Then from here, if we multiply by 3 on both sides, we will get actually 3H over 9, and then we will get 1/3 H. Okay, so what we can do now is to substitute equation 2 into equation 1, then we will be able to find equation connecting V and H only. Alright, so that's basically what we're going to do. Okay, so substitute 2 into 1. Okay, so we will actually get V equals to 1/3 pi R square, so 1/3 H square times H. Okay, so over here 1/3 square you get 1 over 9. 1 over 9 times 1/3 get 1 over 27 pi H cube. Alright, so this will be the answer for the first part of the question. Alright, so V equals to 1/3 1 over 27 pi H cube. Alright, let's take a look at part 2 of the question. Okay, if the cone is completely filled with water, the volume of water in the cone is 27 pi cm cube. Okay, so they are saying that the volume of this full cone is 27 pi cm cube. Actually, we could have calculated this on our own. We can just use 1/3 pi R square, so 3 square times 9, you also get 27 pi. Okay, but somehow the question already told us that. Okay, so therefore water is drained out from the tip of the cone. So now the key thing is the water is actually going out, okay, not being poured into the cone at a rate of 5 cm cube per second. So over here you can see cm cube per second means we are looking at dV over dt. Alright, so they have given us dV over dt. Okay, what they want us to do is find the rate at which the height of the water, so height is h, right, changes when the cone is 1/3 filled with water. Alright, so over here, it's always good for rate of change of question, right? For us to actually summarize the whole question in one statement. Okay, so they want us to find the rate at which the height of water changes. So find dH over T when Okay, we are given dV over dt, but this is where you need to be careful. Now the water is being drained out. That means the volume is actually decreasing, right? So the dV over dt, you need to write a negative sign, okay, 5 cm³ per second. And, okay, the cone is 1/3 filled, so volume will be 1/3 of 27 pi. Okay, so 1/3 times 27 pi, right? Because they say 1/3 filled, that means the volume is 1/3 of the full volume of the cone. So you'll get actually 9 pi cm³. Okay, so this is all the info that we have, and the thing that we want to find dH dt. Okay, so the next step will be to write the connector equation. So we're going to write the connector equation. So connector equation, the thing we want to find, always put on the left hand side. So dH dt, what we have is dV dt. Okay, then ask yourself one question. dV dt times what will give me dH dt? So you should realize that it's dH over dV. Okay, so we already know dV over dt is -5. So now we need to find dH over dV. Okay, so remember in the first part of the question, we have found V to be 1 over 27 pi h³, right? So we can actually differentiate that to get dV over dH. Then all we need to do is to inverse that, and we get dH over dV. Okay, so we get this. So dV over dH will be 3 times down. So 3 times 1 over 27 becomes 3 over 27. So that will be 1 over 9 pi. Then reduce the power by 1. Okay, so dV dH will be this. Okay, so if you write it out in another way, it will be like this. Okay, so in other words, dH over dV will be 9 over pi h², right? So now we can sub into the connector equation, and then we will be able to solve already. So dH over dt equals to dV over dt, which is -5, right? So -5 times dH over dt, which will be 9 over pi h². Okay, but now what is the value of h to sub inside here? Do we know? Okay, so we don't have it yet, right? But we can actually find out quite easily. So remember, V is 1 over 27 pi h³. And over here is 1/3 filled, so the volume is 9 pi. So in other words, we can form an equation. V is 1 over 27 pi h³ equals to 9 pi. Right, so what we can do is we can multiply. Okay, we can take away the pi first. So h³, then we multiply by 27 on both sides. So h³ will be 9 times 27. So that will give us 243. Then h will be cube root of 243. So now we can take this cube root of 243 and sub inside here, and then we will be able to calculate out the answer already. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. Okay, so cube root of 243, then the whole thing square. Okay, so just use your calculator and calculate this out. You should be able to get the answer over there. -0.368 cm per second. Right? Okay, so overall, still not too difficult of a question. Okay, you just have to remember for the first part, okay, for questions regarding cone like this, you can always use similar triangle to form a relationship between R and H, then such that we can substitute one of it away. Then for rate of change question, always summarize the whole question in one statement, right? Write down what you want to find and what is the info that you have. Then second step, form the connector equation. So this is the first step. Second step, okay, then after that, find what you need. So usually what you need, you will just have to differentiate something now, okay, to find this thing that you need. Okay, then put it inside. Then most times they will give you either the H directly or some other value directly. But in this case, you will need to work it out on your own first. But then again, it's not too difficult, right? Okay, so this is how you deal with questions like this.